Hi there. So,
Hi.
welcome. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good in this very moment. Thank you for asking.
Good. I noticed we're both wearing blue too. So it's
Mhm.
Dawn and or Melissa and Dawn from Two Women Healing Out Loud. And we're here today to just go over some coping skills and just go through some readings to help us calm down. And Melissa, what else do you have to add to that?
Well, I was just thinking, welcome everybody, welcome back, and I'm gonna ditto what you just said, Don. And I'd like to say that today we're going to do something a little bit different. It's called Leaves on a Stream, and it's kind of
Mm,
short, but it does the job, I think. So I'm going to ask you to. We usually start with grounding, and
okay.
if you want, you can put your feet on the floor. And I have bare feet because I love doing that.
I do
Helps
too.
me to really feel grounded. So
Yes.
we're going to imagine leaves on a stream. We're going to imagine each thought as an autumn leaf detaching from a tree and falling into a swiftly moving stream. So let's imagine this. Let's imagine a thought as a leaf detaching from a tree. Some of us have had thoughts that have been consuming our mind all day. Maybe it's just a random thought. Let's look at that thought falling into the stream and then swiftly moving down the stream. As this leaf hits the water, just see that it's caught in that current and then it's swept downstream around a bend and out of sight. If another thought comes in, you can again use the same analogy. You can let go of that leaf, you can let it fall into the water. The current takes it around the corner and it's out of sight. And just know each new thought that shows up in your mind is visualized as a newly fallen leaf swept downstream and out of sight. Take in deep breaths. One deep breath in, hold, deep breath out. Another deep breath in, hold, deep breath out. One more deep breath in, hold, deep breath out. So when you're ready, slowly come back to the seat that you're sitting in and to the room that you're in. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your body in the seat you're sitting in.
Oh, that helped me calm down a little bit. I can feel my
Mm-hmm.
heart. I'm having a very anxious day, very high energy anxious today.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel this just pulsing. And when we were doing the exercise, I felt it slowly come down, but it's like all of my body rested except this right here. It was just
Mm-hmm.
boom, boom, boom. But it still brought me down probably from like an 8 to a 4. So that's good.
Oh, that's a plus.
Yes.
And see, this is what's really important to remember. It doesn't take very long if we allow ourselves to do this practice. And I appreciate us being able to do this and show others how important it is to be able to do this, especially if we're feeling anxious, out of sorts, you're feeling out of control, or, there's lots of stuff going on right now. So, it's a process, isn't it? It's a practice. It's an opportunity for us to be able to do this, isn't it?
It is, and it's actually a blessing. I'm just going to share a little bit. Like today, I'm really struggling with mental health, and that is physiologically affecting my body as well. And it's like my body feels okay, but the energy inside me wants to bing off the walls. So when I'm using these tools, it really helps me to be able to kind of pull it back in and focus. Um,
Mhm.
I was blessed in this life to be challenged with mental health my whole life. So I have up and down days, as everybody does.
Mhm.
But I've learned these tools are what are really helping me pull it back in and breathing, focusing, grounding, and only worrying about right here and right now.
That's the only thing that we're in is right now. And it
The only
again,
thing
we've
that's real.
real. I mean, we've talked about this before, how everything feels so, and it might be the truth that there feels like there's so much going on. But when you're sitting here on this chair and you have the door shut and you're drinking your water and you're sharing your truth with someone that you care about and someone that you trust, and you are a great listener as well. I believe that it just makes it even better for our healing to even prosper, because we have this with each other. And with that being said, I think it's really important for, we've had this general format that we've been following, and we generally will do a reading out of one of the recovery books. I love doing the readers, and that really helped me in my recovery. And the readers out of these 12-step program books. There's all sorts of books. And this one happens to be out of Al-Anon family groups, and it's Hope for Families and Friends of Alcoholics. I don't necessarily like to just kind of keep it on alcoholics, because I think it's a foundation for anybody.
So when I hear people reading from anything, whether it's the
Mm-hmm.
Bible or AA material, I'm able to personally kind of shift the wording a little. For instance, maybe I don't have friends that are alcoholics or too
Mm-hmm.
many, family members that are alcoholics, but maybe I have friends that are exhibiting unhealthy behavior. So I kind of
Mm-hmm.
just substitute that people with unhealthy behavior.
No, I think that's a good way to look at it, because I think that's important, and for anybody who's paying attention. And Don, you've mentioned this before about words. Some words seem spiky, and other words seem more
Soothing
loving,
and soothing
soothing.
and calm and inviting and
Mm-hmm.
gentle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know last time we talked about change, and that was one of the big topics last time. And today I'll share the reading, and then we're gonna get off the recording for a little bit, and then we're gonna do some writing in our journals. And journaling could include anything from like a little journal like this to pieces of paper to, I have my little black journal down here too. And the idea is really just to get your ideas of whatever comes up for us, not judging it or labeling it, but just get it down on paper. And it's very therapeutic.
Yes, I find that not overthinking, or like you just said, not judging my thoughts or what I'm
Mm-hmm.
feeling,
Mm-hmm.
really helps me in my healing journey,
Mm-hmm.
because I think the world is rough enough out there. If we can't be the gentle, loving ones for ourselves, then it's going to be a rough life.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. Okay, so I generally put the date on the journal entry, and today is November 6th.
Okay.
So here we go. When I first heard of not accepting unacceptable behavior, I felt confused. The Al Anon program forthrightly states I'm powerless over others. So how can I regulate them? Some members refer to limiting unacceptable behavior as setting boundaries. Boundaries, however, aren't rules I can enforce on others. They are standards of conduct I set for my own benefit. In my program, boundaries are a civilizing ingredient in social interaction, a matter of self-respect and respect for others. Setting limits requires some degree of communication skills because others cannot read my mind nor I theirs. Others need to know how I feel, and I need to lovingly communicate my feelings. Likewise, it is important that I listen to and respect their feelings. I can't expect others to share my values. Sometimes I make choices in my own interest, best interest, that others don't understand. If my boundary is not respected, I remember the serenity prayer. Communicate my limit, and in quietness and serenity, do what is needed to take care of myself. I don't have to end the relationship. However, I do have to recognize my responsibility to honor myself as a child of God who is worthy of respect. I am more mindful of my boundaries when I'm around those I do not trust. With those I do trust, I can be more flexible. If I allow my boundaries to be violated repeatedly, I am a volunteer rather than a victim. It's my responsibility to stick with the people who are affirming and trustworthy and to limit my exposure to those who are not.
Can you
Hmm.
reread that part that I am a volunteer, not a victim?
Yeah, that got me too. Um, okay. I am more mindful of my boundaries when I am around those I do not trust. Isn't that interesting? With those I do trust, I can be more flexible. If I allow my boundaries to be violated repeatedly, I am a volunteer rather than a victim.
Mm, those are heavy words. That's sticking with me.
Heavy. It is my responsibility to stick with people who are affirming and trustworthy and to limit my exposure to those who are not. So with that, that's powerful for some of us. I know it's tugged at my heartstrings a little bit, so we're gonna stop for now, and then we'll start the recording after we.
Take a few minutes to journal our feelings and thoughts, and we'll come back. Just as a paper. Oh,
Oh, okay.
I was starting before you hit record. Hi, welcome back.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yes.
So, Melissa and I just took some time to journal what our feelings were and our thoughts were on the
Mhm.
reading that she just read for us. And so I'll go ahead and read first if that's okay.
Mhm.
So I put the date and I wrote boundaries. And then I said, when I listened to today's reading, I visualized a brick wall, which then became a brick fortress wrapping its protection around me. I felt safe in one way, but also on the other hand, I felt deprived. As the portion was read in the reading that you read about continuing to allow my boundaries to be violated, I then saw myself opening up this large wooden door, sort of like back in the Renaissance times where they had the castles, the brick castles, and then the wooden doors. So I saw myself opening that up. And when I opened it, I ended up allowing in all these soldiers. They were clothed in armor and they forced themselves in and attacked me. I then connected in my mind how by not keeping my boundaries up and enforced, that I am in fact becoming a volunteer in this attack. This was huge for me, what you just read. It really hit deep for me. And in this vision, I also simultaneously saw that while keeping that door closed was keeping me protected, I was also keeping out the beautiful sun and the fresh air and the colorful scenery. So, what this showed me in my vision is that I am the one who gets to decide when and how much I open this door. I am the one who puts up the protection. I want to protect myself, but not so much that I deprive myself as well.
Mm. Goosebumps. Gave me goosebumps. And I
Yeah, that
totally saw that. I saw, oh my gosh, boundaries. Okay, boundaries are, just that, there's that word, right? Just that one word, and it says so much. And there's so many things that go with that. And I know all of us have heard of that word, and we've all experienced what it means to set a boundary, or we think we're setting a healthy boundary. And that's just the thing about this reading. And this is why I think it's really powerful to do a reader and then write. And then, because you don't know, you've got a lot of gold nuggets in there coming out, when you write. And then when you share you could share it with who you want to share it with. And I know for me, um, Gosh, I'll just read what I wrote. I used to think I was being mean to others when I told them no. Then after years in recovery, I realized that by setting clear boundaries with others, I was being not only kind to myself, but to them as well. As a child, six of us were crammed into a single wide trailer with no door in the bathroom. Boundaries were never healthily demonstrated to me. So as I got older, I started learning more about what setting boundaries meant. I never heard about it. No one ever shared it. No one ever taught it when I was growing up. So I learned on my own. I learned as I got on my own and became a young adult. And over the years, I saw what worked and what didn't, and what was healthy, and that got me to recovery rooms. And today I feel grateful after lots of practice to know what peace feels like, what it looks like, by saying yes to what I want to say yes to and no to what I do not want to do.
Oh, I love that. I had a lot of visuals as well listening to that.
Mm,
I saw this trailer, probably not the trailer you were in, but the trailer I was visualizing, and I saw like, oh, six children all like waiting around the bathroom while one person was using it. And I was just like, wow, I can see how boundaries would get skewed in a situation like that
yeah.
because we become one unit as opposed to autonomous beings.
Hmm. And with that being said, there was the longest time I did not even know I was a person.
Mm,
I don't even know how to even share about this, but I was talked to my hubby about it a few times. There was so much immersion. I had no idea I was my own person.
I love that. You know, when you first
Mhm,
started learning how to set boundaries, I don't know if this is your experience, but
mhm,
did you find yourself trying to control other people by setting boundaries as opposed to because one of the first things that came up in my vision, I didn't really write it, but because there was a lot going on there, was
mhm,
I wasn't building my brick wall in somebody else's land. I was only building it in my land.
mm.
So when you first started to set boundaries, did you ever find yourself trying to control? You can't do that. You're not supposed to. I don't like it when you do that. Maybe this wasn't your experience, but I'm wondering because I know it was mine until I learned how to set a healthy boundary.
Exactly. I still do that. There's things that come on the news. I'm like, they can't do that, So again, this is what helps when I look at the serenity prayer about really changing the things that I can and having the courage and the wisdom to know the difference between what I can change and what I cannot change.
Mhm.
And I've said that prayer probably at least 5,000 times now. It's on my wall, and even though it says God grant me, and then we talked about this before, I say source grant me. We can call God or source or whatever is comfortable for us to know that we're not alone in this journey. We have each other, and we also have this bigger, higher power, I call it too, like recovery
Yeah.
says. So I thought that was really interesting too, because there's all these books I have over here all piled up, like like what you were saying, Donnie, of all your great
I
books.
should show you all mine. They are literally piled and then look, like I've got
Yeah,
them.
I'm all aware. And the thing is, I have seen great books on boundaries, and I really liked them. I mean, this is one of the books that
Who writes that one?
okay, so this is Dr. Henry Cloud and Dr. John Townsend,
Can you show
like
us the
like
frame
Peter
again?
Peter Townsend.
Okay,
Um,
just in case anybody wants to get that version of the book.
yeah, if anybody wants to get this, if they want to do a, download on their Kindle or whatever. I like it, and you'll find if you people who are, follow the Bible or, are into the, the I don't even know how to say it, but the scriptures and stuff. And it looks like these two people are they are Christians.
So they're
So
faith-based
they're
people.
faith-based
Right,
people,
right.
and that's okay. I mean, I have, like you have, we have resources from all over. And I thought I flipped to page 105, and it's common boundary myths. So, when we have myths about what we think boundaries should be, and the first one says, Myth one, if I set boundaries, I'm being selfish.
Mm.
Mm. So I don't know if that resonates for you, but it sure does for me.
I know when I was a kid, I felt selfish, but now when I set boundaries, I feel like I'm weak, meaning I
Mm,
feel like I'm saying I can't handle anymore. So I have to set this boundary, and I'm worried the perception that I'm going to appear as somebody who is meek and mild and
mm,
weak. Which, first of
mm,
all, if I was, what would it matter? Those are perfectly fine things to be. But second of all, um, that's what setting a boundary makes me feel. So,
mhm.
yeah, similar. It's not the exact same, but it's similar.
And we certainly can do a video on these myths just by themselves. Number three, if I begin setting boundaries, I will be hurt by others.
Hmm.
Mm, mhm,
Maybe only if you open the door and you didn't check out before you open the door. You didn't check first to see who you were letting in. So maybe
mm.
that's the only way you can really get hurt.
That is a good way to say it. There's a myth for if I set boundaries, I will hurt others.
Mm. That's a big one. A lot of the women I have done sessions with, or even in groups, I hear that they're afraid to make people upset or afraid to hurt people's feelings. And I can totally resonate with that.
Mhm,
But
mhm,
I think that comes from us being people pleasers, from us
mhm.
feeling so much we're doing for others that we never stop to realize, hey, I have needs too.
It's important, and Dawn, what you just said is so essential to healing, is knowing what our needs and wants are as an individual, and then also knowing what's acceptable behavior.
Did you read
That
number two? Did we skip over that?
I skipped over. There's a few of them. I kind
Oh, okay.
of okay, but let me go back to two. Oh, boundaries are a sign of disobedience.
Mm. I can see how
Mm,
children and young adults, or even if you were raised in a very strict religion or
mhm,
very patriarchal roles, I'm the man, you're supposed to do that. That if you were to say, no, I'm not comfortable with that, that might appear or come across as disobedience.
wow. Myth five. And then we can go into our next stuff. Unless you want me to read through the myths,
No,
we
let's
could
just stop at
definitely
five.
do.
That's good.
Okay, so boundaries. Oh, this is a good one. Boundaries means that I am angry.
Mm.
Mm,
I can say I'm still working on that part in my life. I set a lot of boundaries
mhm,
with like social media when something
mhm,
triggers me or gets me angry. So,
mhm,
kind of that can be true in my life. But what I've come to realize is that if there was a situation that was so intense in that moment, even if it's just a few words, that it made me feel so unsafe that I had to block somebody or I had to set a
mhm,
boundary,
mhm,
I need to pay attention to that. It's okay that I was angry and decided I need to set a boundary because sometimes that's the spark or the fire, because anger is actually a fire energy
mhm,
that starts a behavior or an action that's going to help us.
mhm. And I hope that everyone who's paying attention to what you just said take note, because anger is usually an indication of something going on, that something's getting ignited,
Or
like
something's out of alignment
fire.
with my moral values or my or
Mm,
yeah, my value systems. And so
mm-hmm,
I start to feel this anger inside of me and maybe I don't even know what it is in that moment that's actually upsetting me. But all I know is I need to listen to my body and take some time to think. Or maybe I just feel so unsafe I do have to block in that moment or say or hang up the phone or leave the situation. Those are
I
all acceptable boundary settings.
all acceptable behavior. Yeah, I know that you probably get these phone calls. I know I've been getting a whole bunch of phone calls, and they want to. I keep saying, please take me off your list, and they just keep calling and keep calling and keep calling. And I found myself getting angry. please, I said, please take me off your list or I'm going to report you to the authorities. That's what I said yesterday because I had been called. I mean, this is the thing that happens when you get kind of like poked,
You know
poked,
what?
poked, poked, poked.
If
It's
you
like,
start to notice a lot of
stop.
calls randomly coming through or a lot of spam emails randomly coming through, you have been hacked somewhere. Somewhere that has your information out in the system has been hacked.
This is actually related to my student loans.
Yep. Is it
Uh,
really from your student loans or are they fake people coming in saying they're from your student
no,
loans?
I got on a list because I made the mistake of thinking I was talking to the Department of Education and I
There you go.
wasn't.
Yep.
And they work with them. And it's a long story short, but this is the interesting thing is when you pay attention to what you can and cannot change. So I'm writing I have 2 pages of phone numbers now that I'm going to report. Anyway,
But
you
you
know,
can change that. You can take the action and report people. You can block the calls. You can not answer calls you don't know who's calling. Those are the things you can do. What you can't
that's
do is force
right.
the other person to stop calling unless you take legal action, of course. But what can we do? And that's what we have to understand about
That's
setting a
what's
healthy
important.
boundary. Right.
Yes, these are just life examples and this is part of the process of healing out loud is we're going to have ideas that might help somebody and just realize we all get angry. It's all going to happen. It's just a matter of what you do with it. That's an important piece right there. I don't what
I love that so much.
this I mean then you have the power to change it or let it go like the balloon in the air, or the cloud in the sky.
I also know when I first started setting boundaries, it was like I overcorrected. So I feel like, like
Mm-hmm.
when you're driving and your front right tire pops and then you go off to the right side, and maybe you don't know what I hope you don't know what this feels like, but you can visualize or kind of think what it would pull your car to the right. And so what I end up doing is I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't want to hit the bank. So you overcorrect. And then I start setting boundaries everywhere. And that's kind of what I'm coming back out of right now, trying to come back into this middle
Mm-hmm.
place where it's like, okay, Don, give people the chance to prove that there needs to be a, because I was just block, 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 boundary, boundary, boundary. And now, 7 years into my healing journey, I'm over here and I only have like 4 friends.
Oh, you have me.
And you're one of those four.
You probably have more than you think.
I do,
Uh,
but it's just
well, it's
anyway.
interesting because we are talking about boundaries, which is part of safety, which is part of self-worth in our blueprint for progress, the
Yes.
4-step inventory that we are working on. And we are working on self worth. And there are different questions in here that
Did we make it
resonate.
down to safety first? Aren't we supposed to start on safety first now?
I think so. I don't. Okay, what page are we on? I
So
didn't.
that would be on page 15.
Okay, yes. Okay. It looks like we are. Oh, how perfect timing. Safety first. Goes with boundaries, doesn't it?
It really goes with boundaries. And literally, I don't know if you can see it. Under the question, the first word I put there was boundaries. So it's crazy how the universe synchronizes things for us.
It's just perfect. The first question under number 2, safety first. How can I prevent others from abusing me physically, mentally, or emotionally? Ooh.
Mm. So
Mm,
I now have a new thing to add to this. For me, the first answer would now be I can't. I can't prevent others from the actions they might take to abuse me physically, mentally, or emotionally. But
mhm,
what I can do within my fortress is put up the
mhm,
boundaries, use discernment before I open the door to let anybody in, and
mhm,
speaking up for myself when I do feel dysregulated or something's out of alignment or violating my boundaries.
mm. Wow. Okay.
What do you have?
Oh my goodness. It's been a while. Let's see. It's been a while. Remember that song?
Oh my
Da,
gosh.
da, 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 da. Been a while. So be clear about setting healthy boundaries. And knowing how others' boundaries are not healthy. That's a big one, is recognizing other boundaries that people are putting on me that are not healthy. Um, that's a big one. Be clear about what's mine and what's yours. I also like to use nonviolent communication, which is a process that I have on my wall over here. I don't know where I put it. Ah, where did I? I must have moved it. Shoot. Oh, here it is. So using the NVC process, and basically you're looking at first you observe, then you basically let person know how you're feeling, and then you ask them what you need, and then you also then you clearly make a request on how you can ask for change.
So that's one of the exercises I created for one of my groups this week was how do we communicate our needs? And it was identifying the problem, which is pretty
Mm-hmm.
similar to that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said we state our needs in a way that uses our feelings. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like this would is what I need, or I when you do this, it
Mm-hmm.
makes me feel like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go on to the in the future, could we come to this agreement?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's
Mm-hmm.
similar to what you're saying.
Very similar. Listen to the I messages and what you just said, everybody. I mean, the I messages are important because it's focusing on what's acceptable to yourself. That's all we can do really is how do we suit up, how we show up. This is what they say in the programs. How are you suiting up and showing up in your life?
Hmm.
And what's acceptable and what's not. And it's up to you how you set the clear boundaries. And when you blame someone on saying you, they're just gonna get defensive
Well,
and
I shut down when people come at me like that. I'm like, I
mm-hmm,
don't want to be berated. I don't want to be told I'm the reason you have problems. I don't want to be told everything's
mm-hmm,
on me because we're human and that hurts. It hurts our feelings. It doesn't feel good. So a lot of people just tune you off.
mm-hmm,
But if I come to you and I say, Melissa, when
mm-hmm,
you are late to the meetings that we agreed to have, it makes me feel that you're not honoring my time and that I'm not
mm.
important to you. In the future, if you're going to be late, could you please let me know so I can find something else to do in that time or reschedule with you?
And I love how clear that is. And I was looking at your facial expression and I listened to your intonation and it was very clear. It wasn't condescending in any way. And that's what I appreciate about clear messaging like this. And these are just examples. This particular one is a very good example. And because there are people in our lives that are always late.
Right.
So we get to decide,
Instead of you're always late. Why are you always late? So one
right,
is so accusatory and so fighting.
right,
Let's take a fighting
right.
stance. And the other is just saying, hey, when this situation happens, it makes me feel this way, and I would feel amazing if we could do this instead.
Hmm. See, there you go. And then you don't blame anybody, and then you don't get them in that position of judgment, criticism, and especially when it's they're good friends of yours. The people that you love, you don't want to judge them and criticize them all the time.
Right.
I don't want to. It
I love that.
doesn't feel good. So, well, the second question is, did we get out all that answered? I think we did on
Hmm.
that one.
Yep.
Okay. So the second question is, how do I know when another's behavior is unacceptable to me?
What'd you put?
I put my heart starts racing, my blood pressure starts to go up, I have heart palpitations, a slight headache, a stomach ache. I feel stressed mentally, physically, spiritually, scared, angry, and out of control.
And that is so important because you can recognize what your body is telling you, the signals your body is giving you.
Mhm.
And that is telling you some sort of boundary. Maybe you don't even know in the moment what that boundary is right now. But if
Right.
you're in tune with your body, which is why
Hmm.
breathing and meditation and being active and coming into the body are so important, you then know something about this situation is violating one of my boundaries.
Very important to say that out loud.
I
And
love
I
that.
and I hope other people can hear what that message is behind that because that's very beneficial. What did you write?
I put basically what you said, all just in condense. I said, I feel it in my body and my anger or emotions will let me know. And because
Mm,
I generally am a high energy, happy, joy person. I never used to be, but I am now. You
mhm.
tend to be just like a bubble that's always bursting, right? So when that energy, instead of going out like it normally does, turns around and comes back in on me, I
Mm,
can feel it. And I
mhm,
can feel it in my stomach. It tightens up and then it starts to rise, and I can feel my skin get flushed and I feel my body tense up. Sometimes I even feel my fists clench. My I start
mm,
to breathe shorter and more shallow, and I can
mhm.
feel this overwhelming need to explode because all that energy I was putting out is now coming in and I can't contain it much longer.
Oh, that's so powerful. I
Yeah.
totally can see that too and feel that, but right alongside you. And I think other people are listening or who can understand what you're saying because there is a momentum that goes on when you start going in a place of I call it the funkiness, whatever. I don't want to term it too negatively, but I also want to give it a name because then I can pay attention to well, I just don't like that feeling, and I want to work it out. So that's when I get the shoes on, take the 20-minute little loop. What do
I
you think
woke
that
up
can
super
do?
moody this morning, and I
Mm,
notice throughout the day, anytime I wake up like this, I'll get a flashback of a dream I had that night. And so even though we're just talking about subliminal and dreams and all that stuff,
yes.
that dream violated my safety boundaries somehow because I wake up
Mm,
feeling icky, and sometimes I can't even recognize what it is. So what I do know though is, hey, I'm feeling super crabby right now.
mhm,
Hey,
mhm,
I am feeling moody. I do not want to be around people right now. Now I go back to my coping skills that have helped me. Do I need to stretch? Do I need to take a shower? Do I need to start singing? For me, I tend to sing praises sometimes. Do I need to listen to music? Do I need to go make a smoothie or go for a walk? But those are the
mm,
things we learn in our healing journeys. And for me, paying attention to
mm.
my body is key.
Oh, so important. And then thinking about smoothie, I'm gonna make one after this.
Oh, I should too. I have a ton of blueberries in my freezer, wild blueberries. I should go
Oh
make
my
a should go
gosh.
make one. Yes. I'll
Use the
send you a
right.
picture. I'll make it
Okay,
and send you a picture.
send me a picture. I'll send you a picture. And I know what fruit.
You're gonna put greens in yours. I
I'm gonna
already
put
can
the
feel it.
greens in there,
I feel
yeah.
spinach or something. I feel
Yeah,
like
definitely spinach. That's the only one that tastes good.
I have spinach too. Maybe I'll just make a blueberry spinach one.
It's just even a couple of handfuls. Um,
Okay.
okay, so how are we doing on time today? What are your thoughts? You want to
Um,
do one more
I
or
think we should do one more and then probably shut her down. Do we want me
oh,
to pull a card at the end of this too so I can start shuffling
oh,
while we're answering?
yes, yes,
Okay.
that would be lovely.
Okay.
Um, oh gosh. Okay, this one maybe. Oh, yeah. Okay. This one is what am I doing to protect myself from abuse? Actually, we do have two more questions until we hit the next category.
Okay, let's just try to finish those out because that does go us into a next one. So, what
Mm,
are you doing to protect yourself from abuse?
mm. Well, setting clear boundaries. Are you noticing a a theme or
I am, and did we even plan that or did it just naturally happen that
it
way?
just naturally happened that way?
That's
Oh
crazy.
my gosh. So basically, I feel like I'm being kind of repetitive here, but it's the same thing, you guys. It's setting clear boundaries about what is and what is not acceptable to me. It's using the nonviolent communication, observe feelings, needs, and make requests, and listening to my gut and the red flags. Don't minimize the
Mm.
red flags
Those red
because I,
flags.
oh man, I did that and I got myself in trouble. Mm.
I don't think there's a person alive who hasn't felt or seen a red flag and ignored it.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So that's it for me. That's all I could squeeze
I
in there.
put not letting anyone in. Okay, and so that's me overcorrecting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so the
Mm-hmm.
question
Mm-hmm.
was, what am I doing to protect myself from abuse? I have overcorrected. I
Mm-hmm.
don't let anybody in. And I shouldn't say anybody, there are a few I let in, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
setting healthy, strong boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put learning nonviolent communication in a healthy way and listening to my body.
Mm.
It's kind of all a little bit repetitive, but it
It's
is. It's
repetitive, but it's really, I mean, I think it's kind of interesting how the questions are, they sound repetitive, but they kind of get me to think about things, don't they? I mean,
it
that's what I like
does.
about this inventory because it really is getting you to self-reflect. And then it also
Yes.
kind of for me, it's like, well, what have I learned over time? And also now where I am now versus when I took
Mhm.
the inventory 15 years ago.
Oh yeah,
My
yeah.
goodness.
It's like how much growing. And then you think you've overcome something. Oh, okay, I got over my ex. Everything's great. I feel free. I feel amazing. And then a year later, all of a sudden, all this stuff starts coming up again. And I'm like, what? Okay, I'm learning a
Mm.
deeper level of this lesson. Now I'm learning how to set boundaries with not only somebody I'm in a relationship with, but I'm learning how to set boundaries at work or with
Oh my
my
gosh.
pet or whatever it is.
That's so important. So important. I wonder how much of the day is setting boundaries. I mean, I wonder how much of the day we all go through setting boundaries and having clear messaging.
I
And
think once you become healthy at it and once
mm-hmm,
you learn what your body needs, learn what you need, what your energy needs are, what you're able
mm-hmm,
to put out, what you need to take in, I don't think you have to set them quite so much anymore once you have kind of got the imprint laid. It's like you lay this
mm,
imprint and then the people that aren't gonna be okay with you, but they kind of start to shift away. And then the people who new people come in and these are people that generally are okay with boundaries. They don't think anything about it. And they're just not like I think about the people I work with.
mm-hmm,
Not one of them they are just so kind and respectful
mm-hmm,
and soft when they speak. They use trauma-informed language. In the beginning, there might have been a little head to head, but I think that's because
mm-hmm,
I came in just, so loud and this
mm-hmm.
is me. And it kind of shook people up. But overall, it smoothed itself out. And I didn't really have to set any boundaries because the new people in my life are at my new level of awareness and my new level of healthiness.
Did you hear that? Everybody listen to that. That is so important. Same for me, because when I look back at the people that used to be in my life versus
Mhm.
people now, night and day.
Isn't that crazy?
Isn't that wonderful? I mean,
It's
it's beautiful
beautiful
where we
though.
are, right? Beautiful where we are
Yes.
now. And so
And when I
people
say
who,
crazy, I just mean I look back at the people I used to hang with and I'm like, I would never consider hanging with those people now. Not because they're anything less than me, but
mm-mm.
because I can clearly identify the red flags now.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You as well.
that's that.
You as
Thank you.
well,
That is
Melissa.
growth. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful.
High five, high
High five,
five.
high five, high five. So
So
our next question is, how do I let another know that his or her behavior is unacceptable to me? Well, you want to answer first this time? It's up to you. I mean, it's
it's
very
basically
similar.
the same thing. I use
Mhm.
nonviolent communication to express my needs. I speak up and set boundaries and remove myself if necessary.
That's important. Remove yourself if necessary. Do not get in the car with the angry person. Don't even get in the car with the angry person. That's
Trust your gut when
the
your gut
touch
is
your
saying, I don't feel safe to get in
no.
that car.
So yeah, basically same thing. And not getting in the car with the angry person, but basically it's really just being clear in my messaging and about what's acceptable and what's not acceptable to me. And sometimes, what else do I do? Oh, and sometimes I leave. Sometimes I leave the house or leave the situation and just don't come back. I mean, I'm sure we can all relate to that.
Yeah.
I've been in relationships before where I just never wanted to go back. We
I
arranged a
have
time where that person was out so I can get my stuff. And
I have had to do that probably no lie 30 times in my life. I've had to just pick up and move. Okay, I'll see you later. And they're expecting you to be there when you get back and you're just gone, bank account gone, clothes gone, because that's what I had to do to save my life.
it's I have to sit with that for a second. That's what I had to do to save my life. Mm,
But do you know what came from that?
mm.
a heightened sense of awareness, a stronger sense of boundaries, and a resilience that I keep rising no matter what happens to me. So even though there were really crazy situations or situations that were unhealthy for me, and I was lucky enough to live through them, I now have turned that pain into power, and I'm so much
Mm.
stronger.
Ooh, pain into turn pain into that could be a posting for sure. Turning the pain into power. And with that being said, that is
Mm,
courageous. It's
I'm gonna write that.
courageous. Yeah.
Mhm.
Turning the pain into the power. I like the piece, turning pain into power. It's a short kind of one sentence, but it says, and I feel so much when you say that, turning the pain into power. And I ditto that with what you're saying. I turned the pain into power for me too.
Can you imagine 20 years ago thinking of yourself sitting in this place you are right now?
No, would have never dreamt it. So grateful. So grateful
Yes.
you're along the side and you're in the circle with me.
Yes. I'm so grateful as well. So next week we will be going over the third part of
Mm.
self-worth in our Blueprint for Progress book by Al-Anon's Fourth Step Inventory. Again, you can get these on, I got mine from thriftbooks.com. You can actually go to the Al-Anon site and probably purchase one. I haven't
Mm-hmm.
done it there, so I wouldn't know, but you got yours when you were going to groups, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
Okay.
could buy you can even buy it if you go to a meeting, and you're welcome to go to any meetings, or they're all
Yes,
free.
absolutely. They're online too. So next week is being lovable, and we will go
Mm.
over the few questions on being lovable.
Perfect.
And while you were sharing, I was shuffling and waiting for a card to
Mm.
jump out. And
Mm-hmm.
I got,
Mm-hmm.
okay, first of all, I am using the Tree of Life Oracle deck. This is one of my favorite decks.
Oh,
Um,
I love it.
yes, the Tree of
Okay.
Life Oracle deck.
Perfect.
And this is the 11th path, the Fool,
Mm.
leap of faith, freedom, and trust. And I don't know if you
Mm.
can see it or not.
Oh yeah, okay. I see it. Uh-huh.
Can you make it? Or
Oh,
my lighting
beautiful
might be.
illustration. Okay.
Yes, so it's a young, I mean, it could be a woman, it could be a man. It's a young non-gendered person, I guess, jumping out, but out of them, they're holding a wand, and this eagle's coming out of their chest, and they are leaped off of. They've already leaped off of. If you know tarot, the full card, they're still standing there, but this one has leaped off of and has the dog kind of coming after with them. So
Ah,
let me read
okay.
what this one is. The 11th path.
It's always the perfect card, it feels like to me. Every single time
Oh,
is a perfect, it's a
oh,
perfect like umbrella or like a little, holding everything that we just talked about,
yes, a
right?
container.
There we
Yes.
go. That's it. Yes.
Okay, so I'm not gonna, I mean, I can read this, I guess. Some of this words, these words are a little hard to pronounce, but these are the when they were talking about the tree of life, I don't know if you can kind of
Mm.
see the nine different so
Mm-hmm.
that's the tree of life. So it says from Kether to Chakma, if you're standing at the top of the tree, you'll find the tarot card of the Fool.
Mm.
It is along with the planet Uranus. What is it that you want to manifest? Perhaps you only know the next step. That might just be enough. The Fool, a bit of a rogue perhaps, but certainly one for embracing a good time, relishing his freedom, safe in the knowledge that when he takes his leap of faith, he will be caught. I like that. He's just trusting that he's going to be caught, so he just jumps.
Mm-hmm.
That's real faith right there.
Mm-hmm.
Guidance. It says it's not easy being a spiritual energy in an earthly world, but it's
Mm-hmm.
what you've signed up for, and your divine nature is needed here, which is why you took the leap from spirit into human being. We've
Mm.
all heard the saying, you're a spiritual being having an earthly experience. That could have been written for the fool. Marrying your divine nature to the demands of the washing up is essential.
Mm.
How can you use the freedoms of this card in the sure and constant knowledge that when you leap, you'll be caught? It's not about being reckless. It's not about being foolish. But it's about displaying your unique being in such a way that it helps you show up as your wonderful self. What calling do you what is calling you to do that? Where do you
Mm.
need to trust in the gods or God or source and
Mhm,
in what you've gathered around you? Those around you may suggest you're being foolish. Who cares?
mhm.
Before the bungee jump, it's not a bad idea to stop and take a look at the view and remind yourself of the support and harness around you. Take a breath now and take in the support around you and the view from the high point. Then breathe again and again. Still yourself before making that call, sending the email, drawing the big thick line under that problem, and then jump.
Mm. 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 That is so important. Oh my
Yes.
gosh. And kind of wrap it up with a bow on the package of boundaries. So maybe thinking about that's so gorgeous. I love that. I love the illustration, the colors.
Mhm.
So maybe in the next, the next week or so, we can all think about maybe setting, well, it's up to you, but pay attention to when you're setting a boundary.
But if you kind of want to correlate the two, the
Yes.
fool and how he's the beginning of the journey and he's jumping off with it's like a 3-year-old child. They come in, they're happy, everything's fun, everything's exciting. They want to put it in their mouth, they want to touch it, they want to play, and they have full trust. They jump right into your arms. They know you're going to they don't go, "Oh, I wonder if my mom's paying attention. I wonder if my dad is going to catch me." They just jump because they trust
Ah,
you.
that's so right on.
And how do you tie that into boundaries, what we just went through?
Exactly.
If you're setting healthy boundaries, you're going to feel the freedom to trust again.
Oh, write that one out. Say that one more time so we can all hear it again.
If you are setting healthy boundaries, you're going to feel the freedom to trust again.
Mm, thank you.
Dun dun dun.
That was like perfect. A perfect ending to our session today.
I love it. I love it. Another great session, another great day. You totally calm. Can you see a difference in my energy than when we first started? So before this session, I was really all over the place. Do you see how you've completely just working through this stuff has calmed me down and brought me back into myself?
And for those who did not see Dawn before we started recording, I want to let you know how she transformed herself. And by doing that, she's doing this work. You're doing this work on yourself and you're talking about it with me out loud.
That's
And
right. We're
it's
healing out loud.
healing out loud. It's very helpful, isn't it?
Yeah. And thank you for saying that because the truth is, I wanted to call and not do this today. I wanted everything in my body, in my situation today was like, don't just do it later, reschedule. But this time I said, no, I'm going to show up for myself regardless of the fact that I would rather be laying in bed under my big comfy blanket.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show up for myself and I feel amazing now. So thank you,
Hmm.
Melissa, for being here with me today. Thank
Well,
anybody who's watching this for being here with us. We hope you've got something from this and can leave what doesn't apply and take what does.
take what does.
That's right.
You
Keep
have
coming
a
back.
keep coming back. It works if you work it.